Well, look at us. I'm in the company of a legend, Alan Brazil. Hello.
Very well, Steve. Very, very well. Just finished 4 hours breakfast, but for you, no problem.
See, we've had the kids in. We've had Jim White and Simon Jordan, but we've got the main player.
What music were they playing? Kenny Rogers?
Exactly, a bit of that. There was a lot of competition between them two. It got a little bit nasty.
Everything gets nasty with Simon.
So listen, you've been on talksport. You've been on breakfast at talksport since, is it year 2000? So
just before.
That's
actually
amazing.
Just before. It used to be Talk Radio, I believe.
Yeah.
But that was 99, I think. Mm-hmm. So it's 20. Yeah, it'd be coming on 25 years.
Okay, well, we're going to get through your career, the football, the broadcasting. You're a real muser as well. You know your music, don't you?
I love my music. Not so much recent, but going back then, I've got a good memory. Okay,
so let's start off. We're going to go, because we can do late 70s, because we're Virgin Radio 80s Plus. You wanted something from, you mentioned Tavares, yeah? Tell me about what was Alan Brazil's life in kind of late 70s?
Well, so mid-70s, I went down to Ipswich in 75. As a young kid on trial. Mm-hmm. So you go school holidays, Easter holidays, Christmas holidays. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Bobby Robson was the manager.
Wow.
And then had a few trial games, and they decided to sign me on as an apprentice. So it started in 76, and you have 2 years to prove yourself, 76, 77. And that's when I left home from Glasgow, and you're in digs with a landlady just to get your head down and then go training. And in those days, apprentices, we used to have to clean boots, clean floors, paint sheds, do all that. You know, it's totally different now.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't see the problem with it. It gives you a good discipline, if you like. And every Friday afternoon after radio, you'd clean the floors, because if Ipswich had a home game, the dressing room floors had to be spotless. You'd hang up all their kit, and you'd buff the floors so that the away team coming in on Saturday had a clean dressing room. And it was always a bit of a fight, a rush to who could get the machines first, and it was just growing up, to be honest, in those days. And you're 16, 17, 18, you start growing up. And I always remember I did well. Youth team 2 years, scored a lot of goals, played in the reserves. And then Bobby one day said Ipswich made the cup final in 78. And we played Arsenal. We were huge underdogs. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, I've arranged for you, if you wish, to go, rather than lying on a beach, son, I'm going to send you out to America for 3 months. I went, what? He says, 3 months, you're going to go and play for Detroit in the North American Soccer League.
Wow.
I went, yeah, what's the problem with that? But the problem was I was skint, I had no money. We were getting £14 a week.
That's crazy, isn't it?
14 quid a week.
Wow.
So, and in those days, I liked to go out, like to have a bet and stuff like that. So I always remember the team was named, and we went up to Wembley, and we beat them 1-0, and we were back at the Royal Garden Hotel, celebrating in Kensington, London. And the following morning, I was on a 6 o'clock flight out of Heathrow to JFK to play for Detroit Express against the New York Cosmos. I had no money. So my teammate Eric Gates, and in those days there was only one sub. You know, they whinge now, they've got about 7. There was one then. One. And Gatesy thought it'd be sub, and I was hoping to be sub, but there was no real chance of that. I was just breaking into the team. And I said, Gates, I'm going to America tomorrow. He said, what? I said, yeah, I've got to go tomorrow, 6 o'clock. I thought I had no money. And he reached in his pocket and he gave me 40 quid. He said, that's all I've got. I said, that'll do.
And that was a lot back then, wasn't it?
That'll do. Oh.
Wow.
So I went out there, and I'll never forget it. We landed at JFK, and no one to meet me. So I went to the BA desk, said, oh, the soccer game at the Giant Stadium? Oh, don't worry. Are you playing? I went, yeah. She says, I'll get you a helicopter. And I sort of reached in my left pocket, 40 quid. I went, no, I'm scared of flying. No helicopters. I couldn't pay for it. There was no money. So I got a yellow cab, took me to Giant Stadium. We lost 1-0. We flew back to Detroit. The guys were going straight out after the game for a few drinks. And we went to this nightclub. It was called The Three Faces, never forget it. And I walked in with the team, and it was the scene from Saturday Night Fever when Travolta and his buddies walk in the dance floor, and they're all on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And they all part giving them high fives. Well, everyone knew the Detroit Express team, and I walked in, and I'm thinking, this is a film. This is Saturday Night Fever.
What is my life?
Unbelievable. And I ended up out there for 3 months. It was magnificent.
Very unfair question. I'm going to chuck at you. I know you can handle it. Who's going to win the Euros?
The Euros, I think England or France. I'll stand by that. I think Germany will get a chance. Portugal will get a chance. I just think England, if they perform and get the midfield going, they've got as good a chance as anyone. France, I watched first game, didn't over-impress me. Mbappe's broke his nose, missed a chance. Still, they're going to improve. The first games are always cagey. It's hard to judge after one game. But after the second game, when we know who's qualified, that's when the game really comes alive, when they go into the knockout stages. So I would still definitely point at France, point at England, and maybe Germany.
Excellent. I had to ask you. Now, next track on your list, Odyssey, obviously off the back of you talking about this most amazing experience, Bobby Robson sending you to the States and stuff. Let's pick up on that and talk about this song.
Well, you know, I always remember New York, and I've been a few times since. And it's a vibrant city, isn't it? But just arriving there as a young kid.
What was it? Can I ask you, what was it like back then? Because I would love to have visited. You know, Times Square was...
Well, I didn't have a chance because we flew into New Jersey, JFK. And I was whisked through the city to the Giant Stadium. Then before I knew it, the game was over. We were on a plane back to Detroit.
Right.
So I'll be a liar if I knew New York. I've been back on holiday a few times. But the music scene was magnificent. You know, the Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever and all that. All the great. And we were, of course, out in Detroit, where Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band were local bands. And I remember going to... after the game, we went to the Hilton Hotel downtown Detroit. Just about to leave. The band were rubbish. Come on, we'll go somewhere else. And all these youngsters come in, and the band sort of got kicked off, and these other guys pulled out guitars and instruments, started playing, and they were brilliant. I thought, hold on a minute, we're going nowhere here. I was there till about 4 a.m, and it was Doobie Brothers and Jackson Browne.
No way.
Had just finished a North American tour, and this was their jam session.
Yeah.
What a night that was. Don't remember getting on.
Did you always know that did you always have the football bug? Did you always know this is what I want to do?
I did, even from school, from primary school. There was no balls allowed, so we used to take tennis balls in, and I still, for the life of me, think that gave me my skill factor I had, you know, controlling a little tennis ball rather than a big ball. Played local for the Cubs, then local team, then at Celtic Juniors. But at school, the teachers or career officers would say, what would you really want to do when you leave school? I said, footballer. I said, yeah, I know that, but if you're not a footballer, what are you going to be? I said, no, I'm going to be a footballer. And I wouldn't have it any other way. No way. I was always going to be a footballer. But I was late. You know, I didn't get signed for Celtic, which nearly killed me, broke my heart. But then Ipswich came along, and amazingly after that I was invited to Tottenham, invited to Everton, invited to Man United. But I just loved Ipswich so much, and I loved the setup, and I loved the way Bobby Robson controlled the club, the whole club. It was fantastic. Big difference, East Anglia, Suffolk to Glasgow. So that made my mind up.
And what was it like first getting to know Bobby? Because was that a bit of a pinch myself moment, working, you know, with him and for him?
The only real person I knew at the time, because I was mad Celtic, would have been Kevin Beattie, who was Bobby's best player ever. Bobby said that, the best player ever, and he's worked with some great players at Barcelona, etc., England. He said Beattie was the best, and he was. So then the nice thing was Johnny Wark was there, George Burley was there, and they were Scottish. So it was really, really nice. You know, I got a nice welcome. But I knew I had 2 years to prove myself, so it was a lot of pressure. And in the end, 3 of us made it, which is really rare from a youth team squad. Terry Butcher came a little bit later. He was one. Russell Osman was there before me. He made it, and I made it. But a lot of my close friends all were let go. And I don't know, I still see some of them, because a lot still stay in around the Suffolk and Ipswich area. Others are all around the country. So that was heartbreaking, but you have to be ruthless.
It's a tough old world, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's dog eat dog,
and even then, you're not even halfway up the ladder. You're a third of the way up. Then you get in the combination side, the reserves. You're playing against older pros, and you're just looking for a chance, to get in that first team. And when you get it, you got to take it.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you about 82. You were on top of the Pops.
Yes.
I know we're skipping into this whole territory. Explain why. So you were...
Well, 82 was in 81-82 season was amazing. We had a proper team at Ipswich. We probably only had about 12, 13 players. If we had 3 or 4 injuries, we're in trouble. But we had 2 Dutch guys, Muren and Tyson, 2 great Dutch players, and they transformed us. And that 81 side, we won the UEFA Cup, and I got 28 goals that year.
Wow.
But on the 16th of February on a Tuesday night, we played Kevin Keegan, Mick Shannon, Alan Ball, Steve Williams, Chris Nichol, Laurie McMenamin's Southampton team. In February, we're top. We were 4th, and we played them at Portman Road. Paul Mariner, who's no longer with us, has passed. He failed the fitness test, and we thought we were going to get thumped. But we beat them 5-2, and I scored 5. Right? And Laurie McMenamin, by all accounts, told Jock Stein, he's got to be in your squad. And the funny story about that, the following day, with the Sun, a guy called Alistair Ross, took me down to Newmarket because he knew my love of racing, and I had my picture with the Derby favourite then, with my hand up, 5 goals. And to this day, people say they wish they'd kidnapped me, not Shergar, who went on to win the Derby. But that got me in the squad, and on the 15th of June that year, we kicked off against New Zealand, and I kicked off with Kenny Dalglish in the first Scotland game. So that was a brilliant year, and that's where I first encountered Rod Stewart.
Amazing. And tell me about that.
Well, Jocks, I've got a little surprise for everyone. We were in Portugal acclimatising, came back to Spain, did a training session, went to this magnificent villa, big Scotland flag flying, and out come Rod to greet us. So with a couple of glasses of fruit juice, that was it. There was no booze or nothing. Yeah. And off we went, and I went, wow, I've just met Rod Stewart.
And he's become a lifelong friend.
Well, I've flown up in his private jet to football games in Glasgow, and absolutely, I've met him in town a few times in London. We've had a few glasses of champagne or a glass of wine, so he's top guy, Rod, top guy.
And has he always been like that? Did you know as soon as you met him, did you think this is going to be...
He's a proper football fan. People say... when pop stars, some jump in the bandwagon, not Rod, no chance. He is Celtic mad, Scotland mad. I was in his gym, snooker hall, or snooker room, and his memorabilia is everywhere from Scotland and Celtic. He's a proper fan. And
he seems, face value, like a really decent guy, recently giving some money to NHS and funding people's operations and stuff.
I think his new wife, Penny's got a lot to do with it as well. I think, he's at ease with himself now and his family. But you're right, he's still busy, he's still touring. Do you know what I mean? It's quite incredible. Yeah. But some of the songs he's come out with, and of course, our very own Chris Evans had Rod playing in his garden time last year. Yes, you were there, weren't you? I was there, and I'm going again next weekend. Yeah. It's no Rod this time, it's James Blunt. James Blunt, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. But Rod was brilliant, and he's still got it. He still loves his music. He doesn't need to do it, he just loves it. So from the 80s, another putting Alan Brazil on the spot, which track should we go for? Well, it's very difficult, there's so many. Listen, Maggie May is my favourite of all time, but I do like I Don't Want to Talk About It, when he talks about the media and stuff like that, and I'm now media, so maybe that's one for me. Let's talk about the team song. Yeah. Tell me about it. What was that like? The team song was very, very interesting. B.A. Robinson, was it B.A.? Yeah, I think it was B.A. Robinson wrote it. Yeah. And there was a guy from Gregory's Girl, was it Gordon Sinclair or something? Yeah, I know who you mean, yeah. But Willie Carson was there, Alan Wells was there, Miss Scotland was there, and all the players were there. Went up to Glasgow to record it, We Have a Dream. Yeah. And where... John Robertson, it's a penalty, and he hands the ball to me. Anyway, the good story about it is that year, Scotland going to the World Cup, England going to the World Cup, Spurs in the final. What a time. So we went down to Top of the Pops, and there was 3 football teams there, so England, Scotland and Spurs, and I'll never forget it. We were first on, but we went there in the morning. And of course, we done it live that night, but they recorded it, but we sang it live that night. And we had a few rehearsals. Of course, the bar was open. and the bar was open. You know, it was like red rag to a bull. It was like, hello. And we'd all these hours to kill.
Yeah.
So some of the guys on that show was Junior, when Mama used to say, take your time.
Yeah.
Junior, what was the... who else? Bananarama, they were on it. What's his name? Number one. Never let you down.
Rick Astley.
Never let you down again. Is it Jim someone?
Jim Diamond. Jim
Correct.
Diamond. Yes.
Jim Diamond
PhD.
was number one.
Yes.
Yeah, number one.
Wow.
It was magic.
Were you like, what am I doing here?
But no, we were just drunk. We were just on it. You know, we're here. We are. We're going to the World Cup. We were celebrating.
What a time!
And there's some great characters in that Scotland team. John Robertson. Well, there's so many. Kenny and Graham Souness and people. They all weren't drunk, but some of us had a few beers. But what a laugh! And of course, the England boys were there.
Yeah.
Brian Robson, people like that. Who's a great player. He's become a very good friend to me. And then the Tottenham boys. I eventually went to Tottenham a year later.
Yeah.
Ozzy, Ozzy's going to Wembley, his knees are all trembly. Hoddle, it was brilliant. Absolutely, what a night that was. It was fantastic.
The most raucous Top of the Pops has probably ever happened.
Without a doubt. Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Alan, first little question about the England team.
Yeah.
Is Jude the star?
Yes, he is.
This year, is it all eyes?
Well, we shouldn't forget Harry Kane, what Harry's done. Harry's magnificent. But Foden will be... Foden already is a star, right? But Bellingham, for a 20-year-old to do what he's done at Real Madrid, takes some doing. Mm-hmm. And he scored his first goal for England in the Euros. And by the way, people forget that was a real brave header. He's not just got great ability, great touch, shows great goals. That was a brave goal. That was a no fear centre forwards goal. Bang, the header. And people they've sort of ignored that. But I realise how difficult that is and how brave it was. So he is a star without a doubt. And what he's achieved in that year is frightening. Chris
Evans said recently, we were watching a football match together, and we were talking about like old school football players. We were talking about the likes of Gazza and stuff. Yeah. And he said
Gazza was a genius.
Back then, it was a question of whoever could brave the hangovers to play great football, and it's really it's a whole different ball game now.
Yeah.
With people.
Well, not everyone was boozy. Peter Beardsley was a great player, didn't drink. Kenny Dalglish hardly drank. Mm-hmm. In fact, when he was playing, he didn't drink at all, I believe. Graham Souness looked after himself. He had a nickname, Champagne Charlie. He'd have the odd glass of champagne, but Graham wasn't a boozer. Mm-hmm. But then you had some of the other Liverpool players who were, and they were winning everything, by the way. Yeah. Not just in England, in Europe. So when you look at Aberdeen, who won in Europe, Ipswich won in Europe, Villa won in Europe, Liverpool, Everton, we're talking ruling Europe. And them players had a bevy. Don't worry about the booze. But they were very, very good players with massive hearts and wanted to win. Mm-hmm. So I'm still not set on you shouldn't drink at all. I think there's times when you can have a drink and when you shouldn't.
Okay, Simple Minds, amazing story. We're going right the way back to school days for you, aren't we?
School days, Holyrood, Govan Hill, near Hampden Park. Mm-hmm. Jim Kerr, Charlie Butchell, the original founders of Simple Minds, both in my class, not just year or school.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Both in my class. Also, it's amazing. A year below was Texas. Jerry McElhone was in my class, who managed the band, and his younger brother plays in the band still. And then Travis, Fran Healy, was Holyrood as well. And there was another, Martin Hanlon was a drummer. He was... it's amazing. I think you'll find Simple Minds in the early days was Johnny and the Self-Abusers, right? So, but I said to the boys since they've been in the studio, I said, I don't remember any music teacher at school. He said, well, you were too busy playing football.
There you go.
And they're down in Marbella in a few weeks, and I'm down there, so I'm going to try and get to see them.
Amazing. I was going to ask you guys still hang out when you can, do you?
Oh, I wouldn't say hang out, because they're all over the world.
Yeah.
Jim lives in... where's he now? Is he Sicily now? He's got a place. So out there with Ray Winston, he's got a place out there now, another good friend. So when they come in the studio in London, it's great. And Charlie, Jim's not a drinker, doesn't drink, but Charlie likes a drink. He says, just phone me, just give us a ring. So, but I'm in enough trouble without getting involved with that.
Out of those Simple Minds songs, which one should we play?
Oh, they're so good. I remember a New Gold Dream, but the one I liked, I think Alive and Kicking.
Yeah.
I Promise You a Miracle's the one I remember, but Alive and Kicking was a great song.
Alan, out of all the breakfast shows you've done 24 years, have you got a memorable one that will stand out, one that you'll always remember? You know, on your final day you'll go, that was the one.
There's been so many, to be honest.
It's an unfair question. Tell me about some of the places you've been in the world.
Well, I've been to Rio. I've been all over, really. I've been to Moscow, and it's taken me all over the world. It really has. I remember, I'll tell you a good one. We went to Celtic made the European Cup, the UEFA Cup final against Seville. In Seville, against Jose Mourinho's Porto. And I never thought I'd see Celtic in a final again like that. But Porto were a good side, and Jose, of course, was at the height of his powers. He really was. It was going to be some game, and we went over there, and we were down in Porto Banús, and we were having a great time doing the show on a beach bar. Then we travelled up to Seville, and the guy who worked with me was my boss at the time, Mike Parry, and he was with me, and we went up to we went up for the game, and I had 2 tickets given to me from Celtic, and we got to central Seville. It was incredible. It was like a cup final at Hampden. It was just green and white everywhere. They said there was 100,000 Celtic fans there that day. So we do the show, we do a great show, we get some great guests. It's time to go to the game. We're in the bar in the hotel, and it's just a short walk to the stadium. She says, we got to go. But what happened was, the night before, a friend of mine's uncle, getting old now, first time ever on a plane from just outside Glasgow, got on a plane terrified but had no ticket for the game. I went, I've got a ticket for you. So I give him my ticket, but I also give him Mike's ticket as well. So he wants to go to the game. I said, I've got some bad news. He says, what? He says, what do you mean you've given the tickets away? He says, stop messing about, let's go. I said, I've given the tickets away. So not only do we not have any tickets, I gave our hotel room away as well. Well, I had to, you know what I mean? The poor guy, I don't know if he's still alive now. Wow, he wouldn't talk to me for 3 days. And we left there, we went back to Marbella, done another show from the beach, and incredibly, New York Celtic Supporters Club found us. They wanted to come and say hello. Someone says they're down the coast a bit from Seville. They're down in Marbella, and there we were doing the show, and they turned up with this big New York Celtic Supporters flag on the beach. It was amazing.
Wow,
it really was amazing. But I've been over to Australia. I've been all over. I've been to Ashes and Olympics, Sydney Olympics, just marvellous.
Incredible. And what a legacy.
Sydney was great. I bet it was. I was over there, we're talking about bands like Icehouse, Midnight Oil.
Midnight Oil, that would be a good one. Should we play Midnight Oil?
Beds Are Burning.
Yeah, tell me about that one.
Well, no, just the music, but Jimmy Barnes, Cold Chisel, he was a Glasgow boy, so I didn't meet the guys, but they would play. They wouldn't play massive arenas like we do here. They'd play, bits and pieces. Also, one year I was there. I went out for a paper and some rolls. She wasn't talking to me, and I passed this rugby leagues club, and it says tonight for one night only, the Furies and Davy Arthur. Right?
Yeah.
The Furies, a famous folk band from Ireland, and Davy Arthur. I went, I don't believe it. So I went and had a beer at the bar, and they were at the bar, and we got chatting. I got home 2 days later. She went ballistic.
I bet. So, a question I've got to ask you, because Chris Evans often says that your sessions are absolutely legendary. What's the longest session? What's the longest time Alan Brazil's ever been out for? You're only going to impress me by answering this question.
Well, it's good and it's not good. I've done a couple of days, when you're tired at night, and especially if you're in somewhere sunny, you just pop in the pool, don't you? Just have straight in the pool, bang. We had legendary sessions when we were on tour, especially end of season tours. I remember going to Miami with the Pan Am tournament. And the Pan Am tournament, shows you how long ago it was Fort Lauderdale, Tampa Bay, Sao Paulo from Brazil, and Ipswich Town. And Bobby told us, under no uncertain terms, put the Ambrose Allaire away. We're here to get fit. This was our pre-season. We're here to get fit. He said, I'm telling you, it's not a holiday. It's not a holiday. We're here to get fit. Now get on that plane, think about your body, your fitness. And he passed out the old boarding passes. I was like 2A. I'm like, hello. Up the spiral staircase. As soon as I sat down, sir, would you like a glass of champagne? By the time I got over Dublin, leaving Heathrow, there was no more champagne left in the plane. The boys went ballistic. And the last night, we lost the final 1-0, but we smashed we battered the two American sides. And we were out every night, but training every night. And along the beach and diving in the ocean. Oh, that's it. I'm going to have a quiet night. Back to the hotel. There she was, Cassie at the bar, the pool bar. Hiya, guys. Tough warm up. Workout really tough. You look as if you need a beer. 24 Budweisers. And that was it. Bang, we were away again.
Yeah.
And we came in that night, and it was just it just went on and on and on. 2 days later, we're still out, and we came back with a great season as well, so it's weird.
I talked to you about football songs. Some of them are better than others. New Order, World in Motion, the Barnes rap and stuff. What do you think of this one?
I thought it was a bit the best one. It was Vindaloo. I know the England fans loved it, but I think that was totally different. That was, in fact, I'm out with John Barnes soon. We're going out to Berlin together for the final.
What does he do now? Is he commentator?
This is more of a private social thing, but John, he still does a lot of media, doesn't he? A lot of media, but he was a great footballer. That goal in Brazil was sensational. For him to suddenly come on with New Order and perform like that, I thought was take some balls to do.
And he did a decent job in this.
Of course he did.
This is a great song, isn't it?
Of course he did. He really did. But a lot of footballers have got good voices. McCoy's got a good voice.
Yeah.
He loves his Springsteen and stuff like that. He's got a great voice. But I think that would probably be the best of the lot.
Alan, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Let's do another 80s song. Go on, I haven't got your list here, and we're just kind of vibing off one.
Well, the Eagles were 80s, weren't they? They were fantastic.
Yeah.
I watched them on tour. They were brilliant. Brian Ferry. So Roxy music was a big in Glasgow in the 70s, late 70s. Brian Ferry was massive in Roxy music. Love is a Drug and all that. But I remember
Avalon.
Avalon. Right?
Yeah.
I remember Oh Yeah, and the band playing on the radio. We used to play that every away game, Ipswich on the coach, full blast, as we were 10 minutes away from the away ground. I don't know why. That was a song we played, and everyone was singing it, and we'd bounce off that bus. And come on, boys, let's get into them. It's magic.
Amazing.
So Roxy music. And what we used to have at the bus, we were sponsored by Pioneer, and we were one of the first teams to have a major sponsor. And half of the bus was soundproofed, because up the front was all the directors who liked to give him a crib and stuff like that.
You guys.
As soon as that door opened for one of them to go to the loo, it was like a mortar going off, boom. Because Mariner and Butcher loved a bit of heavy rock. His big mate was Ian Gillan,
right,
from the Gillan band. And I was more melodic. I loved the Eagles and stuff like that. Steely Dan stuff. Again, going back to America, I love Steely Dan. Ricky, Don't Lose That Number, stuff like that. I still love it. I love James Taylor. I love Carole King. But that Roxy music was, we love Roxy music, Ipswich. Just as a story about Brian Ferry.
Go on,
so
yeah.
Just remember that.
Absolutely.
Oh, we loved it. We loved Roxy music. In fact, one day we were at Newmarket Races. It was pouring rain. Mick Mills, Paul Maher, and myself, I think Eric Gates would have been there. Anyway, we were tucked away. We were in the nice lounge having a bit of lunch, and I went down to put a bet on. There was no phones in those days we could put bets, so you had to go down to the betting ring. And I looked at this guy getting soaked. I thought, that's Brian Ferry, it can't be. So I went up and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Ferry?" He went, "Yes." I said, "Look, I'm Alan Brazil, Ipswich Town." He said, "I thought I recognised you." Whether he said that or not, it meant it, I don't know. I says, "Look, I've got Paul Maher and a few of the England boys with me. You can't stand out here, get soaked." And I walked up. He said, I'd love to join you." And we walked up, and I took him into the restaurant, and Mariner was a massive Ferry fan, Paul Mariner. And he's reading in those days it was the Sport and Life, not the Racing Post. I says, Manners, I've got Brian Ferry here. He went, yeah, baller. And he fell off his chair. He put his phone down, and they hugged each other. What a day we had with Brian Ferry.
Wow. Is there anyone left that you would absolutely love to meet, but you haven't, or you haven't had the chance to spend, a lot of time with? Have you, any of your heroes? Because it sounds like pretty much you've...
Oh, I've been very lucky.
Yeah.
I've seen some greats, and, from the years... another great story, and I've had lunch with the drummer, right? Another great story, my first ever concert. This is 70s again, in Glasgow city centre, first ever live concert, and it was Mott the Hoople, All the Young Dudes.
Yes.
Right? You remember that? All the way from Memphis. Mott the Hoople, Ian Hunter. And being a bit green, I went there early, couldn't wait, got there too early. People said, you're off your head, there'd be no one there, it'd be empty. You got go just 20 minutes before the band come on. I got there early, place was 3/4 full. Anyway, I listened to a bit of the music. Wow, it was pure rock, it was brilliant. And eventually Mott the Hoople came on, but you know who the band was? It was Queen backing Mott the Hoople.
No way.
Oh, yes.
So they were warming up for...
They were warming up for Ian Hunter's Mott the Hoople.
So how old was Freddie Mercury at this stage then?
I don't know. I was probably only 16, something like that. So there I am in Spain, Kempinski Hotel, southern Spain. Come out on the balcony in the morning, glass of orange juice, guy next to me. I looked up, I went, morning. I went, morning, Brian May. Next balcony. I said, you're never going to believe this. I said, I watched you in Glasgow when you were back in Mott the Hoople. He said, I remember it well. And it was the Liar album. That was their album at the time.
Yeah.
And I since with the drummer had a lovely lunch at Chelsea with them, Stamford Bridge.
Mm-hmm. And when you saw them back then, you were unaware.
I knew I didn't know who they were, but right away I thought, who are these?
Did they absolutely rock the joint?
Rocked the joint.
Yeah.
They were people were going crazy. Queen t-shirts, so there's a massive following even then.
Yeah. What's your favourite Queen song from the 80s? Because we've obviously got Live Aid. And,
Bohemian Rhapsody was probably magnificent. There's so many. Killer Queen. I love Killer Queen.
Have you enjoyed this?
Listen, I love music. Football and music, horse racing, that's my game. I just love my music. I love on my glass of wine, my headphones on, and I could just have hours doing it. I did yesterday in my garden in Suffolk. Sun was shining, headphones on. Fantastic.
And an absolute career highlight was, and you probably don't even remember, this is a much bigger experience in my life than yours, but joining you and Chris Evans when I first started here, and we had a couple of beers together in a bar, I thought, well, this is a highlight. But now you're on my show, so thank you.
Welcome.
You've been amazing.
But I've got a wide taste in music. So I love Bocelli.
Right.
Andrea Bocelli. And I can listen to some classic. But I do love, great music. Doesn't matter from what era. Pavarotti, stuff like Nessun Dorma. Whoa.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much better than that.
And
World Cup.
You mentioned Prince just a second ago.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Tell me more.
I watched him at the O2, and it was my late brother-in-law who made us go. And I didn't know too much about Prince, to be honest. He can play every instrument. He was absolute Purple Rain. He brought the house down. He was absolutely magnificent. And when people like that die, you think, what?
Yeah.
It's like Whitney Houston. I love Whitney Houston. I mean, adore her. Dionne Warwick, another one, who I thought had an amazing voice. And one guy I've not mentioned, it's probably a little bit too early, who we loved in Glasgow as well, was Barry White.
Right.
Barry White was sensational.
Yeah.
Disco era. Barry White was right up there, he used to fill the dance floors. Looking for a Way Out was a great song, Odyssey, and I tell you what, what's the other one I love? There's two great songs. Native New York, I really, really love that. There's another one that'll come to me. Crikey. There's two favourites, and I've talked too much. There's another great song. Oh, Candy Staton.
Oh,
Young
gosh,
Hearts.
yes.
Young Hearts Run Free.
Amazing song.
Now, that is another classic for me.
Where does that song take your head when you first hear that, you know?
That'd be Ipswich.
Right.
That'd be late 70s.
What's the highlight of your career, Alan Brazil? Let me chuck this at you.
Highlight would have to be, there's two. One would be kicking off 15th of June 82 World Cup, but was very nervous alongside Kenny Dalglish. Great side we had. Hansen, Souness, Danny McGrain. There's so many in there. John Robertson, Johnny Wark, McLeish, Willie Miller, Steve Archibald, Joe Jordan, Frank Gray. We had a proper Gordon Strachan. What a side we had. So that'd be one. And then the 16th of Feb 81-82 season, scoring 5 goals. And believe it or not, I went straight home afterwards because my wife's father had a box at Portman Road, and that was she came back from work really late and someone had upset her. I said, just have a night and have a nice hot bath and watch a movie. We'll probably get beat tonight because they're a good side. And she missed the game. We won 5-2. So believe it or not, I went straight home.
It's great to meet you. Just one final question. We'll recap on the Euros. Who's going to win the Euros? What's the score going to be? Alan Brazil.
It looks like England-France semi-final if all goes to plan. I don't know who's the other. Germany could easily make a final. Could easily. Spain are looking good. Portugal. Roberto Martinez I really like as a manager. I'd love to see him get there. They're a good footballing side. But I'm going to stick my neck out here, and I think it's France and it. Well, not my neck out. They're the two favourites. I think they're the strongest side, strongest squads. France or England. All right, listen, we love you here. We're in company of a legend. It's been amazing. A career highlight having you in. Thank you so much, Alan Brazil. Pleasure, Steve.